Hi, today I'm going to show you how to create an African mask using paper. You need two pieces of the same size paper, one light and one dark. Once you have your paper, take the lighter toned paper and fold it down its vertical center. Open it up and go ahead and cut that paper in half following that fold. And you can put aside one of the halves and place the other light half on top of the black piece of paper. Now take the black or the darker piece of paper, you're going to fold it down the vertical center. And you're going to open it up, but you're not going to cut it. This just will let you glue all of your pieces and make sure everything's aligned nicely. Alright, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go about halfway down the page and start drawing my eye. So I put a dot about an inch in, and I'm going to draw a simplified, stylized eye just out of really simple basic shapes. Here's some examples of some shapes for eyes that you might want to use. Again, they're very basic, not much detail. Then I'm going to go and draw a nose. Now you notice I'm only drawing half of the nose because when I cut the nose out, I'm going to flip it over. Here's some examples of some nose shapes you may want to use. And then draw half of the mouth. And you can draw the inside of the mouth too. Gives it a little more detail. Here's some examples of shapes for mouths. Now I'm going to draw the shape of my face. It can be circular, it can be more rectangular, it's up to you. Just a simple basic shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw in some hair, stylized hair. It can be rectangles, it can be curved shapes, it's up to you. You can mimic an animal, or it can be just completely abstract. Alright, so I have that all done. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting things out now. So in order to cut the eye, you have to cut the whole eye out, and it's not on the fold. So you want to just make a simple cut in towards the eye and then follow your lines. So there's the top half. And then cut out the bottom shape. Trying to make as few cuts as possible. Okay, so there's my eye shapes. I'm going to flip it over, take my glue stick, and glue it in about the same position on the right hand side. Whenever you're working with your lighter tone paper on and gluing it onto the darker tone, you want to flip the shapes over so that it remains symmetrical. Okay, now the rest of it is easier. So the nose, I'm just going to cut out, working from the inside. I'm going to line up my paper again on that center fold. Flip over the lighter toned paper, the nose shapes. And I'm going to glue it. And now you can see the contrast shapes. And go ahead and cut out the mouth. So first cut the larger section of the mouth out. position the light paper, and then you want to cut out the middle portion of your mouth as well. All right, so I'm going to put my glue on and then flip it over, line it up on that vertical fold. And then this time for this object, this shape, you're not going to flip it over because you're going to glue it onto the dark side of the paper. Okay, and next I have a little triangle that I put for the chin, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that on, flip it over. Line it up. The more precise you are when you're lining things up, the better your finished product will look. Now I'm going to cut out the hair. I'm just going to kind of keep it in the same order that I cut it out so I won't be confused of which piece of hair goes where. And I'm not flipping those pieces over because I'm going to glue them onto the left-hand side. You'll see when I cut out the face here. Okay, so this face is going to remain on the left side, but the remaining piece of paper I'm going to flip over. So now you can see the contrast. So let's flip it back over and glue it. Make sure you put glue on the end so that the ends, the points won't pop up off of your page. Flip that over so you can't see your pencil. Make sure you get that lined up. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I want to draw some tattoos and some different designs on the cheeks and up above the eyes. So I'm using a Sharpie here, but you're going to be using a pencil. And let's go up above and put some tattoos up above the eye. Again, I'm using basic shapes. Okay, so now that I'm done cutting out all of my tattoos, I can go ahead and glue it. So I want to put the pencil side down and glue on the side where there is no pencil. And it is easier, won't get your table all sticky if you use that extra half that you put aside to glue the pieces. Okay, and then just make sure that you have it lined up. You might need to position it a few times before you actually push the paper down to glue it down. And again, the more precise you can be, the better your finished product will look. I'm going to glue the hair, and I kept them in the same order. So when I'm gluing onto the left side, I'm not going to flip it over, otherwise the hair would be pointing the wrong way, so that doesn't look symmetrical. So make sure that you're gluing the side that doesn't have your pencil on it. And you can always go back once the glue has dried and erase the pencil so it doesn't show. Okay, so you notice the hair is on both sides. The ends of the hair are pointing upwards. Okay, so there's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed creating an African mask out of paper.